Hello and welcome to my Pokemon Journeys episode 86 review, Mega Evolution vs Gigantamax. So we're right back into where we left off, Machamp vs Lucario. They rush in at each other and Lucario gets grappled again. Luckily this time Lucario channels the power of his reversal attack into his feet and knocks Machamp back, which is a pretty cool way to overcome the grappling, and Ash recalls Lucario. So out comes a duck, which Go comments on as he thought Ash would bring Dragonite along. And Karina confirms they're facing each other head on, so Ash wants to use his fighting types, which is pretty fun. Of course, Ash can't do a full fighting type team without calling in reserves, but really gave the same vibes his battle against Iris had. Also, Leon tells the announcer to just sit back and enjoy the battle with all his heart, which is kind of funny, because you know the announcer's job is to talk. So in goes Surfetch with a Fury Cutter, which needs B to recall Machamp. So out comes Hawlucha. It's time for Surfetch to finally get revenge, right? Yeah, now it doesn't happen. Hawlucha absolutely bodies Surfetched. But it is animated really nicely. I don't really care for Surfetch, so the only thought I had was that it was a nice callback to how B's Hawlucha was the first Pokemon that got a KO against Ash. History's just repeating itself. I can understand why this would bother you if you like Surfetch though, and I'll give it some credit. The Captain America shield throw that Surfetch did with Brutal Swing was pretty cool. Out comes Pikachu again, and Ash has this really wacky defense against Sky Attack, which is getting Pikachu to Iron Tail the ground and use Quick Attack to make it pulsate. I guess it nullified the damage while hitting Hawlucha too. Go calls back to a First World Championships match against Viscas, where Pikachu grounded himself, with Karina adding an explanation as to why Ash threw in Quick Attack. I thought it was just a nice little moment to show off Karina's expertise and understanding of what Ash does, as she's teaching Go in a way as well. And even B gives him a really nice compliment for his off-wall strategies. Of course, Ash just kind of comes up with his stuff on the spot. It's nice to see her respect for him and Pikachu for doing that. And then Pikachu picks off Hawlucha with a powerful looking Thunderbolt. Again, this feels like a callback to how Pikachu picked up Ash's first KO against one of B's Pokemon. This battle has a real sense of finality for this story, and elements like this are awesome. The battle with Graplock feels pretty straightforward. As soon as Pikachu's trapped in the Noctilock, it's really over. B seems to have let Graplock take the Quick Attack, considering she got it to detect last episode, and that was their chance to grab Pikachu and throw it into a close combat. Ash is down to one Pokemon and takes a look up at Leon. Out comes Lucario. Ash knows this can't go on. In comes Graplock with Liquidation, and Lucario fires an Aura Sphere that overpowers Graplock. Lucario takes a win. It feels really understated, but I hope it meant a lot to Lucario. He had never beaten this opponent before, but there's no time to celebrate. Machamp is out once more. It's time to get gimmicky as Ash brandishes his Mega Glove. B recalls Machamp with determination and excitement. Acknowledgement of Ash's skill. Her Pokeball grows and Machamp Dynamaxes, which was such a cool moment. Leon looks at Ash. Now it's his turn to show off. So touching the Keystone, Ash and Lucario's bond reaches a peak, and Lucario finally Mega Evolves. Oh my god, it feels so good to say that. Like, I don't need to get into why I hate that X and Y didn't give Ash a Mega, but seeing it finally rectified after weeks of build-up now, oh my god, it's insanely good to see. I actually really enjoy how they portrayed the power of these forms. It doesn't necessarily feel like one is overpowering the other. Their first attacks still meet each other. Their second attacks both hit. Lucario has to take a whole G-Max G-Strike, and an Aura Sphere knocks Machamp down as it reverts to normal. Now, Lucario hasn't won. This is just a limitation of Dynamax being shown. So something I want to say about Dynamax is that, yeah, this was definitely a good showing for it, but still hasn't really received the level of what I feel like it's capable of doing. Like, it feels like there's still some room in the stadium for Machamp to have been more mobile than it was. Let's get some proper movement into the Dynamax battles, please. But really, I'm just glad they didn't have the Mega Evolution beat Dynamax, so take what wins I can get. Machamp can still fight, and it still has its enhanced power from the Chi Strike. So Machamp isn't even necessarily at a disadvantage either, and it's able to defend against Force Palm. That's until Force Palm turns into Steel Beam and launches into Machamp. Ash has finally taken a win over B, and ranked up to 36. Leon leads in applause for Ash and comments that he wishes he could have seen more. That evening, Ash laments Leon left before they could speak, and B tells them they'll meet on the battlefield. She's also acknowledged Ash's name finally and wants to battle again eventually. This actually has a lot of vibes from when Ash left Karina and X and Y for the first time, as they fist bump. So Ash has finally been fully acknowledged. This was such a nice little end to Ash and B's story. It really brought every element of it all together and delivered in 2 wonderful episodes. This one was definitely more action heavy and more animation focused, which is pretty nice. We get more story in the last episode and have the action speak for itself here. Definitely some cool strategies from Ash as well. You know, especially with little quick attack vibrations being the highlight of the episode for me. It's just one of those things that feels distinctively Ash. I've got my problems with how Gigantamax Machamp was portrayed. Feels like it could have went a whole lot further, and honestly it kind of rubs me the wrong way that they kind of ignore some of the max move effects. Like there's no speed reduction to Lucario or increased defense for Machamp. We see that Key Strike had its effects, so why not the others? Other than that, it's a pretty good showing. Nowhere near the Twilight Wings G-Max battle, but I hope the anime is making great strides in portraying Dynamax better. Since Ash wasn't using Dynamax of his own, we at least got some cool perspective stuff from this. As for Bee, she was absolutely fantastic. Her relentless assault against Ash was pretty devastating, and against any lesser opponent she would have absolutely taken a match. And I love that she's actually been growing in the time since we last saw her. Last episode they mentioned Holucha was stronger and faster. This episode shows she's prepared for counters to Octolock by throwing the opponent into the air where they can't do much. I love that she grows and learns from her experience. Even though you know Ash is realistically going to win, there's a part of me that was really wondering if they'd surprise us with a result. And she also becomes a lot more receptive and excited to see Ash's next moves, and I think that's very cool. There's some good mutual respect going on. I think the main takeaway for most people will probably be Mega Lucario, and it was a great moment. We've been building up to this since before Lucario evolved, really. And of course Lucario will still have more room to grow from here on out. But this was a wonderful culmination of all the work he's put in so far. They're also taking Lucario in a direction that I really like in regards to its movesets. Feels like Aura Sphere is a move it uses most, and Reversal is a really cool attack for how much punishment it can take. So throwing in Steel Beam, the strongest type steel move, which is the buttload of recoil, just benefits Reversal. I think that's sick. We'll have to wait to see what got replaced with Steel Beam. I particularly like the idea of Lucario becoming more special move oriented. I feel pretty unique for an anime Lucario. So this wasn't my favourite World Championships match. Frankly, that goes to Volkner still. But I still think it's a damn great one. It ends this little story, and I'm so eager to see what will be in store for Ash next, especially since this episode didn't end with any indication or teasers like previous battles have. Watching this episode made me really want to revisit all the Lucario growth, all the Bees battle, and everything that defines this match. It's such a good end to Bees' story, and has really helped propel Ash to greater heights.